Welcome to this client spotlight with the amazing Stacy, my one-on-one client. So today we're going to be talking about how Stacy, actually, it wasn't a money goal that she came to me for. She actually came to me to heal her womb and embody her feminine, orgasmic, pleasurable energy. So I'm going to hand it over to Stacy for her to introduce herself. I want her to big herself up, and then we're going to get into it. Okay, Stacy, over to you.
Rosie, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I am Stacy Karen Idema. I am the founder of the Global Collective and a business coach. The Global Collective bridges the gap where with women and women in business, we give them the tools to get invested while working with male-led venture capital firms to open up new opportunities and more opportunities for women. So that
Ooh,
is short about me.
girl. Did you guys hear that? Oh my God, the Women's Initiative. Oh, amazing. Okay. So Stacey, the first question, I always lead in with this question. How much of a hot mess were you before we started working together?
Oh.
You still-
So the answer is two-part. Um, I had just experienced or was navigating an unexpected love and loss. And from the reason it's two-part is one, I was encountering feelings that I thought I had, an anxiety that I had thought that I had moved beyond. I had spent so many years in a very masculine approach to navigate my anxiety and had done quite well in doing it. But the feelings and how I was raw and exposed in a way I'd never felt before, I didn't know how to move through those emotions with the tools I previously had. So it was, and I think this is what I said to you when I said yes. I knew we would work together. I just had to go figure out the financial pieces of it and settle into myself. And it was that moment of what's the answer? And the answer was the fact that I was in so much angst and panic about how to move forward in a different way. That was the answer for us to work together. So it was just a different, for me it was a very different way to make that decision, but to know it was also the first time that I was doing something for me. I was investing in me whole as a whole human versus just my business. And that, so it was, I was very much a hot mess in a way that I didn't want to admit, but I knew that there was no way I was going to do it and move through it with what I had previously taught myself and learned.
Oh my God, girl. Because I know, like, when we met and we had that call, you were like, I just want to embody my feminine energy. I just want to know how. I want to feel it more. I want to feel my body. I want to be connected to myself. And I was like, I remember having that conversation with about the womb. Like we were talking about the womb. Like, you just know you've done so much healing work. You already done the work. You do the mindset work. You read books. You invest in coaches. You've done so much healing. But for you, I think that was just the final piece of like just embodying your femininity, right? And like not being so, because you call, like you do amazing work. Like you work with women and you help them in their businesses. You help them start their businesses. You help them invest in their businesses. You help them scale. You are creating an initiative for women to have a voice.
Yeah.
But it's just like you are muting your own voice through this masculine energy by constantly doing, and doing rather than being. And you, Stacey, that's what I want to let everyone know. Stacey, you're a powerhouse. Like, I just want to celebrate you right now. You have this energy, and I keep telling you, you have this aura. It's very colorful. It's very elegant, sophisticated, very loud, wild, but like you know how to tame it. You have
Yeah.
all of that. And it's just about embodying all parts of you, because feminine energy is not just like flowing. It's about accepting parts of you that you're afraid of accepting. Because in the corporate world, in the entrepreneurial world, it has to look a certain way, right?
Yeah.
Like we look a certain way, we have to act a certain way, we have to build our businesses a certain way. So you just embodying that, and now I can see you, like I can see your aura. Your aura is just like it's boom, girl.
Yeah.
It's just so amazing. Like, oh, I could go on, I could go on. But yeah, that's the main thing that I saw within you was the change. Like the 6 months that we were together, I saw that change from being masculine and just trying to like be rigid to just like being, you know what? F it. Like I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna flow. I'm just gonna be. And I remember that conversation we had actually. I want you to talk a bit more about that. The turning point. When did you realize that, wow, I'm actually embodying my feminine more? I'm actually being more. When was that turning point for you? How did you know?
Was it maybe 3 months in when it really started to? Probably about halfway.
Yeah.
Um, I really started to feel sexy in my body. Just, I could feel it. I was comfortable with it, and not only just the comfort with it, but accepting the fact that I look much younger than I am. So I'm very grateful for jeans and good moisturizer, right? But along with working with women, I also am working with men. And so having that, just that quiet confidence to show up and accept that I don't look like I have as many years of business experience, and I do, acknowledging it and then changing the conversation. And that's when that started to happen. I wasn't triggered in a way that um, I was in the past. And not that it was a bad trigger, but it was a distraction. It was a distraction to the conversation, and I never knew how to handle it. So just starting to settle into myself, to be more grounded, to look for the positive, all those things started to morph and come together and just be available to me more readily. And I was allowing myself to do that.
Oh yeah, I love that. And I remember you were saying that I'm just being like it's
Yeah.
cool. Of course. I remember.
And I think about that time I would even leave you messages and say, well, of course I am. Of course. I'm speaking Rosie out loud to myself.
Right. And I remember the voice, because you know your voice in your womb. And I remember the main thing for you was like your voice. Just
Yeah.
like releasing the shadows that you had around your voice and expressing your truth. And I think that's like the true epitome of feminine energy. Like everyone has different aspects of feminine energy. Everyone experiences womb healing in a different way. For you, as it was in your throat a lot. Like
Yeah.
just being able to be, to speak up, to speak your truth in the way you want to, be as raw and vulnerable as possible. That was like your that was like your sole purpose. It
Mm.
was like aligned with you. And I want to talk more about abundance rewiring. Like, how was your experience with that? Because I know a lot of people ask me that, like, what is abundance rewiring? So I want you to explain that. What was your experience like? Because we had 6 sessions, and
Right.
yeah, we had so like, let the people know.
Um, so it was not what I expected. I had a little taste of it because I did one of your 2 hour sessions. That's how I was really introduced to you. And from that, I thought, oh, okay, this isn't what I expected. Um, that being in it, in fact, I think the last one or two that we had, I remember even laughing in the middle
Mm,
of it.
yeah.
You would ask me a question and I would just start laughing. So the experience was, it was really the gamut of everything from sobbing miserably to having these awarenesses to laughing to these aha moments to feeling as if I was there, my 3-year-old self and my 5-year-old self and my 7-year-old self. So it was just this full range of experience that every time we did another one, I went in, I never thought I had expectations, but I left understanding what those unintentional expectations were, but also releasing them and allowing them to just move through me.
Love that. And like I know like we did a lot of room clearing as well.
Yeah.
Like out clearing out the shadows. What was that experience like for you? Like how was it what did it feel like? I know like a lot of people don't they can't grasp the concept like how am I connecting to my womb? Like how was that? Because intuition as well was a big thing for you, right? Your
Yeah.
intuition. Now, how did it feel to connect to your intuition and your womb? Like when did you know you were connected to it?
Well, I would say I went in knowing I was connected to it. It was whether or not I trusted myself to acknowledge.
Yes.
And that was probably around, I really started probably three to 4 months. And I think a lot of it also centered around my securing my business visa and moving to another country to start a brand new business all by myself. And the evidence, even though there were other pieces of evidence I was looking for, it was acknowledging the evidence I wasn't giving enough credit, that and letting go of that. Other preconceived notions. So probably 3 to 4 months in, I really started feeling it. And I think some of that even came from having two young adult men, actually. So not only the womb connection, from my own mother, right? And those pieces, but being a mother and allowing myself to release um, those motherly things, if you will, and allowing them, cutting those cords, if you will, to step back and do things differently as a parent. Um, and I think a lot of that came probably by month 4, and I could just feel it. I could feel it in my intuition when she was talking, when I was not listening to her, um, and feeling more grounded and centered in everything I did, even if it was not a bad, and even if it just wasn't my best day.
Yeah, because like when we're not connected to our intuition in our womb, a bad day could turn into like a really like the worst day ever, and it could like spiral us out of control
Yeah,
and like put us into masculine energy, and then we're trying to avoid the feeling, and we keep doing, and then we just get burnt out.
yeah,
So I know for you that was like a pivotal moment where you weren't trying to do to overcome those feelings, you were just feeling working through it. And that's amazing. Like one thing I love about coaching with you was that you were able to take the tools and coach yourself. That's what I love. Like you were like, you know what, it's cool. I got this. I just needed a little hint, but I'm gonna coach myself. Like that's how you are naturally. And it was amazing to see that you're able to just trust your intuition. Because sometimes, when you're with a coach, you're like, oh, shall I just ask her this question? Shall I keep asking? Shall I keep trying to get her to fix me? The fact that you were like, you know what, I'm gonna trust my gut, I'm gonna listen to myself because I'm doing the healing work. I'm gonna use these tools, and every single time it worked for you. I remember you were like, you know what, I'm in chaos right now, but I'm okay. I'm fine. I'm working through it and it feels amazing. And I was like, that is just it. That's it. It's amazing.
my little pink book, basically, it's my little Rosie that I carry around, especially on the days where I'm not sure what to coach myself through. I get to open up the book and I get to let the book tell me what I'm going to coach myself through.
Amazing. Oh, that is so amazing, Stacey. I can't even express to you how amazing that is. So what do you think were your biggest transformations like us working together? What were your biggest transformations? What changed for you?
A couple of the big ones, I would say the first one being just my voice. So you and I even spent a fair amount of time working through taking what was in my head, all the noise in my head and the all the stuff, and putting it onto paper and putting it in a way that was my voice. I just couldn't seem to unwind the swirl of it, right? And so you helping me and walking through that piece of it was transformational because it was taking the passion that I had inside, but also being able to take that passion and keep it really focused and talk deep about it. And I know that has transformed me from the standpoint of my voice is not the same as everyone else's. I have a lot of unpopular opinions. However, it's very much more about equality than one side or the other. And it's okay to be in that space of wanting equal for both men and women, and the fact that we go about it different ways. Um, and trusting myself to know. So the other piece is then trusting myself to know that my voice has value.
Oh my God, yes.
So even if somebody doesn't like what I have to say, that doesn't matter. I don't need to be hung up on that one person. So that getting out of my head onto paper then also helped me vocally express my opinions and understand if I was triggered, why, where is that coming from? So that really morphed itself into something bigger. I would then say frustration. So from a human design perspective, one of my pain points is frustration. And where does frustration sit? And it sits in your pussy. And so going through the whole transmuting and honestly owning it. Okay, this is what I feel. I don't like this. I'm going to spend 20 minutes with myself figuring out what to do. How am I going to teach myself instead of sitting for hours being super frustrated and irritated? And then I get angry at myself, and then I'm even less productive. And then I'm angry that the next day is X, Y, and Z. And that morphed into something bigger for me because over the last couple of months, the shift to really grow my bigger business vision has transformed from that. It was just, in the little inklings. And I mean, you and I talked about this. My passion is so much bigger than coaching. I love coaching. There's significant value, like world-changing value in being able to coach people and to work through those processes. But I have a bigger mission. And through just all of this, that has come out. And so now it's that next evolution of that voice. What does that look like? How does she speak? Um, and how do I use that energy to be really focused? So it's required me giving, I don't want to say giving up, prioritizing, really prioritizing where I spend my time and my energy, because I don't want to do it on what I get frustrated with. I want to be in flow. I still get hung up sometimes on I manifest something, right? I want something. When's it gonna come? But I also know now that I have the tools to say, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and then I'm gonna move on. Or I'm going to acknowledge it. Where is it coming from? What am I doing? So the transmuting, just that whole process in particular was significant for me.
I
Yeah.
remember, because as high achieving women, I feel like our masculine energy gets stuck in our vagina, and then it just stays there. And the way that we counteract that is by doing until we burn out. So we burn out that feeling that is like that, okay, the clitoris is throbbing and the
100%. Yeah.
feeling, but then we're like, how do I, like, what do I do? Like, I don't want to feel this right now. It's that kind of shame as well that comes with it because we're so used to like just having a result. But the feeling that we have in our vagina is not a result. To us, it's shame.
Yeah.
So during that transmutation, like I wanted to talk about that experience. What was it like when you the first time you transmuted? 'Cause I remember the first time it came, I was like, just give it a voice, and you were like, you were just like it was in your throat. It was just like croaking in your throat. You're like that's all that comes up, like expressing the voice of your vagina. I remember like saying to you like just let it express itself. What does it want to say? And it just came out with a noise. It was just a noise that came out, and it helped.
Uncontrollable noises.
Yeah.
And I've always I shouldn't say this. For the longest time, I've always had this thought that I couldn't speak my voice anyway, and I would have these nightmares and these dreams that something was going on, and I couldn't protect myself, if you will. So when we did that for the first time, and just the whole process of moving it from my vagina up, um, it didn't take long, but it was there, and it was that same feeling again, like I can't speak my voice, yet I couldn't not hold it in. There was I just it was so out of control. So the only thing I could do was just let it vocalize itself in the way that it did, and it was awkward and uncomfortable and freeing and a lot of tears,
Oh yeah, a
a
lot
lot
of
of
it.
tears.
There's a lot
Yeah.
of relief. I remember saying to you, it's a beautiful sound. I know it feels. No, it doesn't feel that. It doesn't feel sexy because we always have that in our mind that it's supposed to feel sexy and I'm supposed to feel the pleasure, but no.
No, it's not an opera.
Orgasm. You're gonna be like, like what? And it's just amazing that subconscious beliefs we've attached to our pleasurability and our feminine pleasure and our sacred space because the vagina is a sacred space, the womb is a sacred space, but the connotations we attach to it was like it's always masculine, like it has to be an object of desire, it has to always feel good, it has to look this way, it has to feel sexy. But I remember that I remember the transmutation, and you were just like, I just don't know how to express it other than this. So I was like, it's fine, girl.
Yeah.
That's vagina talking. Like your vagina wants to speak, let it speak. And it was a beautiful sound. It was just you expressing your soul expression, which was amazing to witness.
And it was at that point when we did that exercise from that point on for quite a while. Sometimes I would even sit in meditation and it would just come out. And I couldn't stop it. It was, it's strange to feel that powerless, yet feel so empowered.
Oh my God, what a yin and yang. What a total opposite, but the balance was there. Oh, that's a quote. I'm gonna add this as a quote, Stacy, like just to feel so powerless but empowered at the same time. Oh,
Wow.
because control. You know what it is? Like when we are in that orgasmic energy, it's like we're trying to control it. We're trying to control what it feels like. And it's like it's conditioning. It's like, patriarchal conditioning, it's societal conditioning, it's supposed to feel a certain way. But the moment you experience it, it is so liberating, absolutely liberating. I can vouch for that
Yeah.
100%. So yeah, go. Before we wrap up, I wanna just 1 second. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So the last question. What would you say, Stacy, to anyone who's sitting on the fence, thinking about working with me, but are scared to take the next step?
Why are you still sitting on the fence? Lean over. You'll be there to catch them. Really? Right? That's what the role of a coach is to do. I mean, I know that. I know that by the work that I do with my clients. If you're indecisive, indecision is the decision, right? If you want to do something different, you need to flap over, you need to lean over, You need to fall and allow your coach to catch you, because part of their job is to be there, is to be there when you land. It's a soft land. There'll be fear no matter what. I can vouch. I wake up every day excited, like truly deeply excited. And for me, I have incredible fear. I get to go ask for money for my own business, right? And that's a fear in and of itself, but it's different. So the fears, there will be fears. The fears get bigger as we get bigger, as we grow into ourselves. So if you're stuck in the fear that you have right now and you're not doing anything, you're limiting your own self. And so if you truly want it and you're sitting on the fence and you're in that fear, the only way to move forward is to lean over and allow it to be caught. That becomes the first big step in the entire process, is knowing that someone's got your back.
I love that, girl. And I will help you land, everyone. Stacy, like this is gonna be my new thingy. Stacy is the witness to this. While she was transmuting her pussy power, while she was healing her womb energy, while she was embodying. And I just want to say this, Stacey, that I thoroughly like it was such a pleasure working with you. You are my soul client. We are soul friends. We are just
Yeah.
meant to be forever. We'll always be in each other's spaces. And yeah, I just want to say thank you for saying to yourself and yes to healing. It's amazing to see your transformation. I'm so in love with you. Before we go, where can everyone find you to contact
Um, you can reach me on Instagram at Stacy Karen Idema. You can find me on LinkedIn on the same, and Facebook and the same. All under Stacy Karen Idema.
you? Love it. Love you, Stacey.
Love you
Mwah,
too, Rosie. Thank you.